Hi folks, I'm here with Stephanie, who's the owner of Mother of Yarns here in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yes.
So first of all, I would love to know, what you would want people to know, when they first walk into a yarn store.
Oh, yeah. No, my biggest thing is just making people feel like they're welcome here, that they're supposed to be here, that, there's no prerequisites to coming in the yarn store. Like, it's not some secret club or anything like that. And we're really excited to help out. My favorite thing is getting people to the next step, if that means learning it for the first time or getting a little further in their project. That's my favorite thing to talk about, my favorite thing to do. So just that this is a place for them.
I didn't really necessarily realize until I started going to local yarn stores that it's not just a place to go purchase yarn and supplies, but it's also a community space.
Yeah, and we definitely see it as a community space. I mean, when we were designing our space, that was very intentional to set up places that you could sit very comfortably for long periods of time. One of my favorite things is going to our Google page and seeing that the average person here spends 30 minutes to 4 hours, and that's really gold material right there. And it's kind of turned into that, because that's what I was kind of hoping for. We have the space for it too, so that really helps.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask about this space of how you found it and making some of the decisions of setting it up.
The building itself is what really spoke to me to even go down this route in my knitting journey. There's a coffee shop next door called Road Gym. It's really good. And we were sitting in there and just kind of having some coffee one morning going man, if we were gonna do it, because you always have that dream in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
If we were gonna do it, that would be the coolest spot, right? And so we would come in and we'd look through the windows and then it was what would we call it? And so we went down that route, and then kind of started asking the questions with the building and kept pursuing it. And eventually it started to fall into place. It took a lot of work to get there, but now we have this building, and the timing worked out great with occupants changing over and everything. And so, I have graph paper with it all laid out of how I wanted it to be and everything. And we kind of call it magic graph paper, because what we put on there comes to exist, whether it's designs of projects or whatever it is. And so this was in there, and it now exists in real life. So it's great.
So I definitely want to ask, what's the story behind the name?
So we had been making a lot of Game of Thrones references around the house
Okay.
with Mother of Dragons, and my youngest daughter was well, you're the Mother of Yarns. And she knew we were also looking for yarn store names, because we had been throwing out a bunch of stuff. She's that's what you should call your yarn store. And just walking to the bus, very casually. And we're actually, that's not terrible. So,
I love it when the kids are the ones that come up with the great ideas.
And, on opening day, she was I'm the idea person. This was all me. And she was let me know what else you need. So very much that energy. But
I was it definitely has the Mother of Dragons, Game of Thrones vibe, but I wasn't sure if that was
it works also. It hit a lot of the boxes of I wanted to make sure it wasn't just a knitting store too, because I also crochet. I always get feedback that that part of our community isn't always fed in the same way. So I wanted it to be Mother of Yarns, that yarn is the idea, and whatever you do with it is up to you.
The store has been open for just over a year now, is that right?
Yeah, so January of 25 was our opening, mid-January. So this has been our first complete year here, and knowing everything. But I mean, the community showed out day one. We had a line around the building on opening day, which was really exciting for us. A little scary, because I was thinking oh, we'll ease into this, people will find us and then I'll know what I'm doing by then. And it was definitely a bit more than that.
Have there been any fun surprises over this first year, I guess year and a half now?
Yeah, I mean, how quickly people showed up, that was definitely a surprise. I came from this, my background's in engineering, so I kind of got into knitting content creating by accident, because I posted my knitting one day and was just oh, I have bunches of questions and this one's actually doing well, so we'll talk about it. So definitely that imposter syndrome, kind of getting over that, and who has the audacity to open up a yarn store and call it Mother of Yarns, and then assume that identity, especially like I'm very much not that person. And so just kind of like finding my voice in the community and finding where I fit, and then like also giving that space back to everybody else as we've been going through this and finding out like what people in the community need and adjusting those like little micro adjustments to like what I love in yarn versus what's going to sell in yarn, and like what classes are going to be the biggest hits and that kind of thing. Like we love our fixing mistakes classes and like all of that too.
Yeah.
You know, and like it's a continuous improvement thing. So it's always just trying to find, you know, where we're going this next month and in the next year, and kind of settling into ourselves. But I'm giving myself that like life college kind of a mentality with it, where I'm giving myself 4 years to figure it out.
Okay.
So
I mean, yeah. And like, yeah, I definitely, I love hearing that, like, there's so much, like, getting the feedback from the community and being like, okay, what does the community need? Not just like, what as a store owner do I want to do?
Yeah, because I think it is an easy trap to fall into too, is like, you know, metrics of all these different things. But like, unless you're like really listening, like you're not going to really help anybody if you're just kind of doing what you think you need to do and not, you know, where people are actually guiding you to go. So
Yeah, and I'm sure with like yarn, there's plenty of like, I know I see patterns or yarns that I'm like, these are super popular, but they're not like my personal taste. So
and I brought on employees to kind of help me with that. Like my employees have very different tastes than me, and that's really good. Like I love that, because like we kind of joke around like, oh, this is a me yarn, this is a Mora yarn, this is a Georgina yarn, this is a Kellen yarn, you know. And so we all kind of have our like specialty things that we love, and there's some things we all kind of come together on. But when we do like these same project, like what would we do color wise, it's all over the place, which is great because we have customers that come from all over the place. So like, while I love rustic yarn, like very notably, and like very intricate work, that's not the case for every customer coming through the door. So in order to serve them best, I need to also know that too.
So what are your favorite projects to work on?
I love, like, I feel like I go through phases throughout the year. So I definitely get cable bugs and colorwork bugs and lace bugs, where I just have to work on those things. And I'm not a monogamous knitter. I have like my background project and my little car project and all of that too. But if it's not feeding my brain, like I've been better about like not finishing and just saying like, hey, I started this with the best of intentions, but it's not giving me the joy that my hobby's supposed to be giving me, and putting it aside and just knowing that that's okay too.
That's a very good, that's a very good mentality.
Yeah. But it took getting like really overwhelmed by those things to start to do that.
Have you felt like any pressure, like now that you own the store, to like knit up certain patterns or certain things?
Yeah, because some things do trend, and I get excited by it too. And I know if I'm excited by it, other people probably are. But a lot of my focus does have to go into making up samples that I know like people want to see in person, like before they make that investment of their time and their money, like in order to make it themselves. And I noticed that if I have a sample here, it's gonna be that like proof of concept that people need to be able to go forward with their own project too. So it, you know, I do like to do it, but it's like a gift too, of being like, yeah, I'll be the guinea pig.
I will say, like, looking around the store, I love the amount of like samples and everything, because they're definitely like, ooh, let me feel what this yarn feels like when it's actually knit up into a fabric and not just in a skein, or like getting inspiration.
Absolutely. And like my biggest like thing is like sometimes I'll like keep them at home because I wore them that day. Like, and so like this one's been at my house for a while, even though I could very much have this out on display. So I need to be better about bringing my stack of home projects in too. It's embarrassing how much.
But you also, I'm sure, want to wear them. And
I do, and it's nice to have like at least a little bit of a collection. And I have come in just wearing a t-shirt, knowing I'm just going to pick from the rack.
So you mentioned a little bit about like the space just kind of being the inspiration for the store. So can you tell me a little bit about like how you made the decision to like dive in and open a yarn store?
It is a big decision because it was a big life change. My kids were getting a little bit older, and so like I was transitioning from being stay-at-home mom to having them like do more after-school kind of things, you know. And so it was a really good time, like on a personal level. And then also, you know, this place. We've moved around so much before moving to here, and now we have like very long-term things here. My husband also is a local business owner. He paints ships in the shipyard, and so this is where you do that.
Yeah.
And very long-term. So we know this is our long-term home, and we love Great Bridge. And we just like, there's something about being in walking distance to everything. I'm in walking distance to my house, my kid's school, my doctor, I have to pass everything in order to like just be here. And so that like very walkable, which is what we kind of felt internationally as well, and like community-based kind of space was really great. And then you add this like really charming building. Even like growing up, like this used to be a bait and tackle. And so my husband, when he was like my son's age, came in here and got minnows out of the back and like went next door to the grill and got like a Philly cheesesteak. So like, you know, it's very much in that kind
There's
of...
this like family memory.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And like, and I know a lot of people in the community have that memory of this place too, and now it's just serving in a different way. And I always like to say, like, we still have hooks and shiny things, you know, and stuff just like the bait and tackle, but it's just, you know, it's this great space, and it's making memories in a different kind of way. So,
Yeah, and it's so
you know.
wonderful having a coffee shop like right next door.
Oh yeah, and it's
coffee and knitting goes
it's
so
a little
well
too
together.
convenient sometimes. So we absolutely love that, and they've done some specials for us for different events too and things, and so I think it's a really good match to have that there.
Yeah, so speaking about events, I know you do like classes and social knitting nights.
Yes.
You were part of the Dogwood Fiber Trail.
Yeah.
So kind of June, summer, are there any like upcoming events?
Yes, we are doing down at the historic Battleground Museum there. We're going to be one of the vendors, just kind of speaking on fiber, and we've done that in a few different kind of spaces. And everything. So we any opportunity to kind of go out into the community and like demystify like how your clothes are made, I think is really fun, and just, you know, I think there's this natural curiosity. And so we've done like reenactment stuff. We've done down at the Aviation Museum, like little pop-ups, and then other like local yarn kind of things. And we're bringing in some more time for our spinners too. Like we're going to do a spinning meetup and that kind of thing.
That's really cool.
So we're just excited, and again, just kind of hearing like where people need things and like meeting that need too. So
Yeah, I love that, going out into the community, because like I knit like at the playground or while I'm waiting to pick up my kid, and like especially I notice kids are always like, what is that? What are you doing?
Oh, and if you see someone else like, out in the wild, I get so excited. Just like, I'm like, what are you making?
Yeah. But also like adults also like will be curious and be like, oh, okay, that's how like.
Yeah, or I tried it and couldn't get it. It's like, come in.
Yeah.
It'd be so good if you came in. So yeah, I'm definitely advocating for that time spent, you know, of this like very mobile hobby that, you know, it's just very sad.
And I think it also like makes you appreciate even the things that aren't hand knit, but like the clothing in general, and understand fit.
Yes.
And
I know we're both wearing homemade tops right now, and so it's very easy to say like, look, this is knit. But like when someone's wearing a hoodie and you're like, look really closely, those are actually knit stitches, and it's really cool that you can do this too. And, you know, showing people like, oh, this granny square blanket that you inherited, like you could do that. Like you could do that for a whole nother generation. So it's really cool.
Yay. So any kind of final thoughts?
I truly do enjoy what I do. I think most people that come in here can probably feel that. I can't believe it's a real job. And yeah, just keep showing up, keep coming in. I love show and tells. I love projects. So yeah, just come on in because we want to see it. We're at 390 Battlefield Boulevard South here in Chesapeake. And I am online with my Mother of Yarns, but also my GB Mother Hen. So that's more of my personal and like my projects and tutorials and all that stuff too.
So make sure to follow Mother of Yarns, and if you're in Chesapeake, come check it out. It's a really amazing shop.
'Cause you remind me